Very good afternoon to all the students. So, first of all, Merry Christmas. Today it is a very auspicious day, and a Merry Christmas to all of you. And I hope that सबकी preparation अच्छी चल रही है. Mains related कोई भी आपका doubt हो, so आप ज़रूर अपने comment section में live chat में बता सकते हैं. And we will be addressing one of the questions of DAW, that is daily answer writing today. And we will try to integrate whatever your doubt is in the session. Okay? आज थोड़ी सी तबीयत खराब है तो हो सकता है कि एनर्जी थोड़ी सी कम लगे, तो प्लीज बेयर विद दैट ऑल्सो. बुलबुल गुप्ता, गुड मॉर्निंग. अ वेरी गुड मॉर्निंग. इट्स गुड आफ्टरनून एक्चुअली. वी आर पास्ट द 12, सो गुड आफ्टरनून. Let's look at the question first. Okay, so we are dealing with a question from internal security. When you will be looking at your syllabus in GS3, the syllabus is broadly divided into 4-5 sections. First we dealt with Indian economy. Then we deal with environmental issues. Then we deal with science and tech. Then we deal with disaster. Then we deal with internal security. So my argument is that in this whole Pankaj is asking, sir, internal security में case study देना ज़रूरी है. Pankaj, it totally depends on the question. For example, you can tell in today's question, when you are talking about internal security, you can give indeed different examples. For example, that how let's first look at the question only, then I will be able to integrate the example. उसके लिए पहले एक बार question भी देखेंगे. But I'll integrate your doubt within the question. Okay. So my argument is that GS3 broadly comprises of these 5 sections: Indian economy, environment, science and tech, disaster, and internal security. What happens usually in GS3 is that we are seeing how GS3 is becoming the lowest scorer when it comes to the overall 4 GS subjects. We are seeing that GS2 and GS4 are usually on a very high note, GS1 after that, and GS3 at the last one. Even rank 1 is getting below than 90 marks. Just imagine the scenario. So what is the reason? What is the reason for this? Students usually keep their preparation integrated to Indian economy, environment, and science and tech. They do a lot of hard work on it. Why? Because environment is usually in current affairs. Even science and tech is in current affairs. Indian economy, they keep reading about it. But disaster management and internal security somehow are those areas where no kind of specialized or dedicated time is given to make the notes to study it. So my number one suggestion is that if you will pick up the Sunya IAS mains booklet, the booklet somehow the booklet looks like this. Okay? And what you can do out of this book is that there are dedicated specific chapters on internal security and disaster. I have myself struggled to find a good source for this area, for internal security and disaster management. Okay, so what should be your goal is that you directly read the GS3 booklet for Sunya IAS mains booklet, and you make your very precise notes out of this so that you don't struggle in these areas. Okay, so please do focus on the areas like internal security and disaster management. That is the first argument. Now let's look at the question. Analyze the role of media in addressing internal security challenges. So question is very, very broad. We see that there is a specific topic in internal security which talks about that how the media is creating different kind of challenges and everything. But the question is asking that how analyze the role of media in addressing internal security challenges. Now internal security challenges itself is a very, very broad term. Okay, almost we will see when we will come to the question that how internal security is a very, very wide domain and lot of kind of challenges are coming in it. So we have to integrate that how media is addressing those kind of challenges for specific challenges, not just broadly internal security. Okay. Discuss how responsible reporting can contribute to public safety and national security. So how, if we go for responsible media, responsible reporting, then how it can enhance the national security and public safety. This is the demand of the question. Let's look at some more, some of the parts of this question. So initially we will start with introduction. What can come in the introduction, we will see that. But my argument is that because it is a 10 marker question, it is a 2-page answer, keep your introduction very crisp. It should be very, very crisp. Okay. What do we mean by that? I will tell you that. Now we will analyze the role of media in addressing internal security challenges. So another thing which I want to share is that always pick up the exact language from the question for your subheading. So while we are making our first subheading, we are exactly using the language which was there in the question. But what you don't have to do not use the same language that is there in the question for your introduction. Your introduction should not be a paraphrase. It should not be a repetition of what is asked in the question. It should be somehow a little bit innovative and unique. Then we have to tell in next part that how responsible reporting, how this can lead to public safety and national security. Okay. And after that we can just conclude. Okay. This is the larger structure. So explore Goldfish is saying that he or she is liking the books, and he's also saying that he or she is also saying that these sessions are helping her or him. I don't know the gender of this person, so thank you so much for the praise. Now let's look at how we can introduce the question. The two keywords in the question are media and internal security challenges. Okay. Either you can give some report where you can tell that what is the status of internal security challenges in India, or you can start with the section of media. So what you can tell is about media. What is the thing that you can tell? That Indian Constitution in its fundamental rights, that is part 3, it provides freedom of speech and expression. Okay. And because we are providing freedom of speech and expression, we have also the concept of free media. Okay. So how media has the right? So how media has the right to cover all kind of different issues that are happening. Why? Because freedom of speech and expression is expressly mentioned in Article 19. Okay. So you can start on this line. What else you can do? There is a saying that media is the fourth pillar. Media is the fourth pillar of democracy. Why is it called so? What are the other 3 pillars? We know that judiciary, executive, legislature, there is concept of separation of power, and these are the 3 pillars. But it is said that 4th pillar is media. Why? Because media is the interface. Media is the link. It is the feedback loop. It provides the feedback loop mechanism It provides the feedback loop from government to the people and people to the government. What do we mean by that? We mean that how whenever there is some issue in the government policy, then we see that how it is media who highlights that issue to the people, and it is also the media that takes the review of the people back to the government. Okay, this is the context if you want to start with the line of media. If you want to start with the line of internal security, when it comes to internal security, you can start on the line that how we are living in the era of hybrid warfare. Fifth generation warfare. What is hybrid warfare and fifth generation warfare? Initially, the kind of warfare that was happening, it was only military in nature. That means that if there was a Naxal threat, then that Naxal threat was just in those specific regions. Let's imagine a scenario that Dantewada district in Chhattisgarh was having an issue of Naxal threat. Then in 70s or 80s or 90s, when the Naxal threat was there, it was not really impacting the situation in Uttar Pradesh, or it was not really impacting the situation in Delhi. But because today we are living in a complex era where media is also there. Now even media can be divided into 2-3 different branches. There is electronic media, there is print media, there is social media. All these kind of different media organizations, they are having an impact, they are having a role to play when it comes to these kind of issues. How? For example, we can see that earlier, if those Naxal organizations were recruiting the people just from those local Dantewada kind of districts, the districts that were prone to Naxalism, today they are even recruiting people from urban cities like Delhi. Why? Because of media, because of social media, they can put out their propaganda and they can go for hybrid warfare. Hybrid warfare means that you use the today's modern era technologies like media organizations. There are we will address the details in issue in the parts. Okay. Now let's look at the parts. यार कमेंट्स में स्पैम मत करो, आप जो भी हो प्लीज डोंट स्पैम दी कमेंट्स, अदरवाइज मीनिंगफुल जो भी बच्चों के डाउट्स हैं वो नहीं आ पाएंगे. Okay, so now we will be addressing the parts of the question. Before that, let's look at some of the copies where introduction is given. So the introduction is very crisp. Okay, this is the first thing that you have to note, that how the introduction is very crisp, and let's read it. Media is the fourth pillar in democracy and it acts as a double-edged sword. This is very good. What do we mean by double-edged sword? You can use this keyword of double-edged sword whenever you are looking for that kind of thing which is creating certain good opportunities but also creating challenges. You can say that it is a double-edged sword for that thing. For example, if you're talking about AI, you can tell that how AI is creating certain kind of opportunities as well as challenges. That's why AI is a double-edged sword. Okay, it is a very good keyword in addressing the internal security challenges. So the introduction is crisp. Then they have also split the internal security challenges into different kind of issues like terrorism, cybercrime, illegal migration, insurgency, border security. Okay, all of these are the internal security challenges. We will see how to integrate this. Let's see some of the more introduction if we have that. I think introduction yahi tha. Now let's see that the first part is role of media in addressing the internal security challenges. So students often ask that how we can create points. We are struggling with points. So in these DAW sessions, we have been coming up with different frameworks. Today, I will share a very unique idea about how you can create diverse points. है ना? I haven't explored this idea so far, but this kind of framework or structure of creating points can help you in generation of points. है ना? So do listen very carefully about what I am sharing. Whenever you have to look for internal security issues, just do not do this literally. You can even if it is a 15 marker answer, you can even do this on your answer. But in your mind, just draw the map of India. Just draw a rough map of India and try to see that what kind of news articles you have been reading when it comes to the internal security. Any kind of security issue which is emerging within the India is a point of internal security issue. So let's look at Gujarat first. So recently there were news that how drugs and cocaine, specifically cocaine, this was detected at Mundra port. Okay, so how the inflow of drugs specifically from countries of the, we know that there are two kind of regions from where drugs are coming into India. No, the first one is Golden Crescent and the other one is Golden Triangle. So Golden Crescent is here and Golden Triangle is somewhere here. So how there is issue of drugs which are coming in even into Punjab. Even into Punjab, we see that there is inflow of drugs through the route of Pakistan. Okay, so the first issue, internal security issue that we noticed is drugs. Okay, and from where these drugs are coming into, they are coming from northeast also. They are coming from Gujarat. They are coming from Punjab. Okay, then the next thing that we will issue is that how there is insurgency. How there is insurgency in certain kind of regions like Jammu and Kashmir. Further, there are ethnic conflicts. There are ethnic conflicts in northeast India. We are seeing the Kuki Mighty conflict. है ना? So give these examples. Kuki Mighty conflict. The Nagas issues. Okay. और क्या आप इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी इशू देख पा रहे हैं? Then we see that how this area, the red corridor, this area is called as the red corridor. Why it is called as the red corridor? Red means that so red was a color which was picked up by the Naxalist to give a rise to their movement. So there is Naxal issue. Then we also see that how there is issue of terrorism. For example, there were Mumbai terror attacks. So terrorism is there. Okay. Then we noticed that how in Tamil Nadu there is a nuclear power plant, Kudankulam nuclear power plant. This nuclear power plant, it suffered a very massive cyber attack, because of which the integrity of one of the nuclear facilities in India was compromised. So even cyber security, Even cyber security is an internal security threat. Then we see that how a lot of organized crime is happening in Bombay. What is organized crime? So when crime is done by certain entities in a very systematic fashion, when they do it for profits, that is the first thing, that crime has to be done for profit, okay, not for any kind of ideology. And it is done in a systematic manner, it is done in a hierarchical manner, there are proper positions, there are proper hierarchies. For example, the D company. These kind of organized crime is also an internal security challenge. Then what else do we see? We see that how there are different kind of arms smuggling. Arms smuggling is happening. Then we see in Assam that how there are also cases of where different kind of exotic species of animals, they are being smuggled, है ना? So all these are the dimensions when it comes to the internal security. Unchecked migration from porous borders. So Lavanya is telling that how unchecked migration, yes, that is also a point. So how we are seeing that in the neighboring state of Myanmar, there was a Rakhine state, and how the Rohingyas did a migration to Bangladesh and further into the northeast and even to the Delhi. So illegal migrants are also an issue. Okay. The thing is, all these are the internal security issues. And what you have to do is that you have to integrate the kind of challenges, the kind of role media is playing in each of it. Okay. So when it comes to the drugs, what is the kind of role that media is playing? Media is trying to raise awareness. Okay, media is trying to raise awareness when it comes to the issues like drugs. Okay, so raising awareness about certain issue is the role media is playing. But what are the kind of challenges that we are seeing? That how there is a concept called dark net. What is dark net? Dark net is the net. It is that part of the media, social media, which is not under the regulation of government. So how through darknet and how through certain social media portals, certain drugs are being sold. Okay. We also see that how certain social media platforms like Telegram, etc., they have proper different groups where certain drugs are being sold on these portals. So how media, though it is also solving a problem, it is creating awareness, but there are also certain challenges how you can talk about social media. I am about to remove this after some time, so I hope that you have made the notes if you want to make notes. Then insurgency, how the terrorist organizations are using media to do radicalization. Okay, so they are using these kind of platforms for radicalization, for recruitment, for furthering their propaganda, for pushing disinformation. Okay, but what is the kind of role it has played in removing the insurgency? That it has also given a lot of information to the police from the certain kind of social media panels. You can give the example that how Jammu Kashmir police, it has a special data analytics portal through which they also analyze the social media post and data to do a counter insurgency operation. So media is also helping the police and the authorities in the counter insurgency operations. Okay, you can give the data that how the example I told you for Jammu Kashmir. Okay. Pankaj is saying this way of answer is good idea. Yes, certainly. See, the thing is, on certain topics, you have to make certain frameworks. This kind of framework will help you in generating as much amount of points as you need. Okay. I can also tell you more security challenges. For example, we will see that how India has a long coastline. Okay. So how there are chances that certain kind of illegal immigrants can even come from this coast. For that, we need a very strong border protection guards at the coastline. Okay. So ethnic conflicts में हम क्या देखते हैं that in the Kuki Mighty conflict, media media was actually on the ground, and it was media that led to the awareness of the Kuki Mighty conflict. You can even give the example of the video of assault of a woman that came on the media, and only after that action was taken. Okay. Then Naxal issue. How Naxal when it comes to the Naxal issue, the same problem is there which we faced in insurgency, that there is the issue of urban Naxal today. Why are urban Naxals there? What is urban Naxalism? That certain intellectuals which are at the left end of the spectrum, they are sympathetic to the Naxal cause, and they further the propaganda and agenda and ideology of the Naxals through the media. Okay. Terrorism, तो यहाँ terrorism में भी आप मीडिया का बताएंगे. Now Pankaj Kumar was asking that, sir, how can we integrate different case studies? Here you can tell that how there was an issue where the 26, when Mumbai terror attack happened, 26/11 attack happened, then media was telecasting that issue live, because of which the terrorists were getting live updates about the strategy of the government of India or the security agencies. Because of that, they were able to plan their attack better. So how there is need that media collaborate with government, media collaborate with the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting when it comes to broadcasting the sensitive issues and matters on national security. Why? Because Article 19, freedom of speech and expression, is not absolute. It cannot, the freedom of speech cannot impinge on the national security. It cannot impinge on the sovereignty of India. Okay. Then cyber security. साइबर सिक्योरिटी में भी वही बताएंगे आप कि मीडिया का क्या रोल है मीडिया का. दैट अगेन मीडिया इज मेकिंग पीपल अवेयर about the different cyber crimes. We are seeing that how RBI is using social media to make people aware through different campaigns. Okay. But again, even media is being used by different terrorist organizations to generate different kind of deep fakes, different links which are fake in nature. For example, you can give the example of spoofing, when some kind of links are spoofed and they are misused. Pankaj, urban Naxal, see, the moment some kind of terminology is being used by think tanks, and when these kind of terminologies are being talked about by certain intellectuals who are associated with the government, at that very moment it becomes legitimized. What I'm trying to say is, urban Naxal is an issue today. Okay. It is an issue because Prime Minister has himself used this word from from in his speeches and everything, so you can indeed use it. Then organized crime, again here you have to tell that what is the exact role of media in enhancing this issue and in curbing this issue. Okay. So I hope that this kind of structure is making some sense and it will help you. Okay. So whenever in doubt that how to generate points, just draw a map of India and think about the challenges in different areas. I'm removing this now. So that is the first part. Now let's look at some of the copies where this information is being presented. Role of media in addressing internal security challenges, dissemination of information. So I think even this format is really good. This is another of the unique ways in which you can present the information. Why it is unique? They have given the points. awareness and participation, reporting security operations, cyber security, and then they have given positive role, negative role, positive role, negative role, positive role, negative role. So how, rather than telling opportunities and challenges separately, they have rather addressed the opportunities and challenges in both, in all the respective issues, है ना? So dissemination of information में it educates the people, it informs the people, then it facilitates timely response. Negative role में misinformation, very good point, spreads like wildfire through platforms, undermining public trust. Here you should give the example also. Okay, what is the example? What is the example of misinformation when it comes to internal security challenges? That how, when it came to the COVID-19 pandemic, we saw that there was a lot of disinformation and misinformation that was there on these platforms, which distorted the picture. Awareness and participation, positive, it brings to surface the ground realities. Sting operations are there. Negative is open ground for debates and discussion, may lead to hate speech and disorder in society. So there are also certain media organizations that are using their free speech to enhance the internal security issues. You can give the example of, it is a controversial example, but you must be aware that there was a specific channel that was talking that how there is a concept like UPSC jihad and all that. So that is actually a negative challenge, that how without any facts you are coming up and you are propagating certain ideological propaganda. Okay, that is one of the challenge. Reporting security operations, positive is that it acts as a watchdog, accountability and transparency in security measures. Negative is the 26/11 Mumbai attacks, how the security was compromised because there was live telecast of all the activities. Cyber security, raise awareness. Negative, inadvertently provide details about cyber vulnerabilities in the nation. So all the points are quite legitimate, but what is missing is that you are the candidate जिनकी भी एक copy है, they are just delving deeply into the media. They are not connecting it with the internal security challenges. Okay, so what is needed is that you integrate the internal security challenges with the media positive and media's negative. Okay. Radicalization and extremist propaganda. Authorities can monitor the social media. This is very good point. You can integrate the Jammu and Kashmir example here and identify potential threats of radicalization. Negative, extremists use social media to brainwash youth and spread anti-social elements. Suspected IAS supercells in Kerala. So overall, जिनका भी ये copy है, they have tried to integrate the points of social media, but थोड़ा सा internal security से हटे हैं. जैसे अगर extremist propaganda की भी बात करनी है, you should use the keywords, you should use the terminology of internal security like overground workers. How overground workers are using media to enhance their reach, है ना? इस तरह के कीवर्ड यूज करेंगे तो it will be better. Role of media in addressing internal security challenges. So they go for information dissipation, awareness creation, influence opinion. See again, let's see, media inform and educate people effectively in an unbiased manner, making them rational citizen. In this whole point, there is no point on how it is solving the problem of internal security. The same issue which was there in the last answer. To build a bridge between people and government, thus tackling resentment, example Naxal affected area. So यहाँ पे इन्होंने example use करा है, influencing. Media shape the perception, influence people and promote harmony, interconnectedness, which help to shun revolutionary means terrorism. In exposing the loopholes, media brings up the concern of infrastructure, shortage, defense. See, इन अभी तक हमने जितना ये आंसर देखा है, व्हाट इज मिसिंग इज दैट नो काइंड ऑफ चैलेंजेस आर देयर विच आर बीइंग क्रिएटेड बाय द मीडिया ऑल्सो, वो भी आने चाहिए, है ना, दैट इज लैकिंग. एड प्रॉपर एक्सपोजर, सो यहां पे भी देखिए अल्टीमेटली इशू क्या हुआ है इस आंसर में, दैट दे हैव नॉट हाईलाइटेड द नेगेटिव्स ऑफ द मीडिया when it comes to internal security. So the point to remember is that how the question is asking about role of media in addressing internal security challenges. जब तक आपको इसमें इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी चैलेंजेस को आप प्रॉपरली डिलीनिएट नहीं करेंगे, तब तक द आंसर विल नॉट मेक अ लॉट ऑफ सेंस. Okay, that is must. Now discuss how responsible reporting can contribute to public safety and national security. So in this part सबसे पहले आपको responsible reporting बतानी होगी. You have to tell some of the features of responsible reporting, that there is no kind of sensationalization. There should be certain authenticity of the news which is being presented, right? So how authenticity and accuracy should be there. Then how the media organizations should follow the code of ethics for media, right? How they should collaborate with government when it comes to different issues related to the internal security, है ना. सो थोड़े से आपको अपने आप ही पिलर समझाने पड़ेंगे, from where you will establish that what are the different kind of pillars of responsible media. इसमें कुछ पिलर एक बार देख लेते हैं. that you have to balance the national interest and freedom of speech and expression. तो अपने बेसिक टर्म्स में ही आपको रिस्पॉन्सिबल जर्नलिज्म बताना है. एज सच कोई उतना ज्यादा ऐसा नहीं होगा आपका कि कोई कीवर्ड्स हैं उतने, फ्रैंकली, है ना. बेसिक सिंपल वे में ही बताना है. इसमें एक और चीज बता सकते हैं आप, दैट हाउ दे शुड नॉट हैव एनी काइंड ऑफ आइडियोलॉजी, दे शुड बी अनबायस्ड. So let's see that how this kind of points are being presented. Responsible reporting contributing to public safety and national security. Accuracy and truthfulness. Example, in reporting a security related incident, accurate information ensures that public receive reliable details. Avoiding sensationalism. It should not be based on TRP, है ना. These days media organization is running like a big boss entity. Protecting classified information, balancing privacy and security, ethical handling of sources, distinguishing opinion from fact. This is very, very good point. This is very, very good point, because these days what is happening is that media organizations are not really providing news. They are providing opinions. They are actually feeding their whole analysis, which is skewed towards one of the sides, rather than just presenting the information. Okay, so all the points are good and relevant. Hence these practices of responsible reporting align with constitutional principles. These safeguards back freedom of press and broader interest of national security. Okay, what you could have done in conclusion is, you can talk about the doctrine or test of proportionality. What is this doctrine of proportionality? This doctrine of proportionality was given in the Anuradha. It is actually an old doctrine, But in Anuradha Bhasin case, so after there was 370 article was removed from Jammu and Kashmir from the constitution. At that time, different kind of media organizations that were running in Jammu and Kashmir, they were closed. Why? Because there was no kind of internet in the valley, and Anuradha Bhasin was running one of the media organizations. She went to the Supreme Court and said that the government is not really giving us any explanations that why the internet is closed. So Supreme Court said that government should apply the test or doctrine of proportionality, where the kind of restrictions that you apply on media, they should be proportional to the ends which you want to achieve, which means that internet can only be banned or the rights of media can only be restricted when there is some substantive thing, when there is some substantive reason that made the government of India restrict the rights of the media. Okay, so this doctrine of proportionality, you can tell that government should regulate the media in the light of doctrine of proportionality, where they should not have the right of absolute freedom of expression, which can lead to creation of chaos, है ना, या फिर internal security challenges बढ़ सकते हैं. तो conclusion में आप इस तरह की lines पे भी बोल सकते हैं. You can also use that how in Article 19 the freedom of speech and expression is not absolute. Okay. Anjani Tiwari is saying, sir, please bring essay writing for philosophical essays. Anjani, I think we already have some of the classes for essays. You should contact the number which is there at the Sunya IAS YouTube channel. You will find a mobile number, so you can contact there, and the team at the desk will be able to help you to find where are these sessions. Okay, for the essays, we are running sessions for philosophical essays. Responsible reporting contribute to public safety. How it is leading to? Let's see this. Public safety, delivering critical information, awareness about human right violation. It acts as a mouthpiece of the public, tackling social injustice, Nalsa judgment. See, points are good, but internal security वाला angle भी आना चाहिए. Example दिए हैं इन्होंने. They are talking about human right violations. So how whenever there is a human right violations, like there were human right violations, आप यहाँ पे बताइए human right violation कहाँ हुए हैं. For example, you could have talked about Manipur violence, है ना, फिर वो internal security से link होगा. Then tackling social injustice through Nalsa judgment. यहाँ पे थोड़ा आपको लिंक करना पड़ेगा internal security से. That how there are some kind of human trafficking that is happening, how there is child trafficking. So how media can play a role when it comes to those kind of injustice. There you can bring in Nalsa and everything. National security में that it can support investigation, it can control propaganda and deception, and informed intelligence capabilities. These points are really good, and the examples are also given. Example, Maharashtra social media labs, and इन्होंने यहाँ पे दिया है through broadcasting photos and details. Overall the systematic presentation of the answer is really good. Media is known as the fourth pillar of democracy. It has pros and cons, thus we need a policy framework. What I want from students is that you should conclude with some keywords, है ना. टेस्ट ऑफ प्रोपोर्शनैलिटी मैंने आपको बताया है, उसको आप यूज कर सकते हैं. एनी काइंड ऑफ डाउट्स आर देयर रिगार्डिंग? I hope that the doubt of Pankaj is clear. Pankaj was asking about whether we can use case study. जहां पे जिस पॉइंट में आपको लगेगा केस स्टडी यूज हो रही है, हमने जो मैप ड्रॉ करके सारे एग्जांपल्स देखे वो सब केस स्टडीज ही हैं, है ना. दे आर ओनली केस स्टडीज, बट यू हैव टू राइट इट इन अ क्रिस्प फॉर्मेट, वेरी क्रिस्प फॉर्मेट. If I would have to conclude this answer, how would I have concluded it? See, conclusion कंक्लूजन का क्या मतलब होता है? कंक्लूजन का ये मतलब होता है कि यू हैव प्रेजेंटेड अ लॉट ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन and now you are giving a way ahead for the answer. What the number one mistake that students do is that they write a very, if I may have the liberty to say, students do a very calm chalau conclusion. So basically they have written the whole answer, they are tired, so they just want to write 2-3 lines and they just want to put their pen down. This is the kind of conclusion that 90% of the students write. And especially when you will be in mains, I have myself written 3 consecutive mains, and I can tell you that it is actually a fact that while you are writing the conclusion, you are under most stress because you are constantly watching the time, that 7 minutes have passed, 10 minutes have passed, I have to conclude the answer. So good conclusions can only be done when you have prepared information in your head topic wise. What do we mean by that? That media पर आप 2 conclusion prepare करके जाइए, right? क्या आप conclusion दे सकते हैं यहाँ पर? If you will read second ARC report, you will find some very good conclusions when it comes to the media, है ना? What are these kind of quotes? Second ARC says that just like light is the antidote to darkness, information is the antidote for misinformation. Now it is a very simple quote, है ना? बट थोड़ा सा अलग हो जाएगा, कुछ यूनिकनेस दिखेगा आपको. सो ट्राई टू प्रिपेयर सर्टेन टारगेटेड कंक्लूजन्स टॉपिक वाइज, एंड आई डू नॉट वांट दैट वो कंक्लूजन्स भी एक तरह से स्पून फीडेड वे में आई जस्ट कम हियर एंड टेल यू those conclusions should remain very unique to every answer. Okay, so just work a little hard when it comes to the conclusions. Use second ARC, use some of the reports by the government of India. You can even use the reports by the standing committees of the parliament. Okay, you can, if you want to go for how to handle the internal security challenges, you can even use the examples from history, that how media played a very major role when it comes to the Indian freedom struggle, and how आप बता सकते हैं कि फर्स्ट न्यूज़पेपर इस डेट पर सेट हुआ था, हाउ मीडिया प्लेड अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल इन स्वदेशी मूवमेंट. थोड़ा सा इनोवेट करिए, है ना? एंड बाय इनोवेट आई मीन दैट यू डू नॉट हैव टू जस्ट कंस्ट्रिक्ट योरसेल्फ टू द GS3. ओपन योर हिस्ट्री नॉलेज, ओपन योर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन नॉलेज, and display that in the conclusion. Okay. So that's it for today's session. If you have liked this session, you can leave a like or a comment to share your reviews, and we will meet again tomorrow at the same time, that is around 11:30. Okay, goodbye and take care.